Hi guys. Today I wanted to sit down and talk to y'all about the fact that even though homesteading is extremely rewarding, it can also be very overwhelming. If you're like me, I have lived with anxiety and depression for years and years, and I tend to be an overthinker and I tend to get overwhelmed very easily, especially if I have a lot of tasks at hand. And a lot of you might be thinking that you want to get into homesteading to help battle your anxiety, to help battle your depression. And that fantastic idea. You're spending more time outdoors. You're spending more time in the sun, getting that vitamin D. There is something so therapeutic about just digging your hands in the soil, planting something and watching it grow and seeing the fruits of your labor. It is 1000% worth it. It is 1000% worth the adventure. But there are going to be times where you're probably going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to think, what on earth did I get myself into? Especially if you're like us. Dirk is very project oriented, but he likes to have a lot of projects going at once. And in our intro video, we talked about how that's actually a pretty good thing, because you can just take a step away from one project if you're feeling overwhelmed and, go work on something else for a while. But if you do it like that, you're going to end up like us and have a lot of unfinished projects lingering around. And if you start thinking about all those projects and everything that you need or even just want to get done on your homestead, it can be overwhelming. It can be a bit much, because especially if you're like me, I'm not the type of person that necessarily needs to have a million things going on at once. So what I've realized is that I kind of have to take a step back, and instead of looking at our homestead, which is about 5 acres of land, instead of looking at it as the big picture, I need to hone in on certain individual projects at a time when I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. Just walking from here to the store, I can tell myself, okay, that needs to be mended, that needs to be done, that needs to be cleaned up a little bit. And it can get to be a lot, and if you're already struggling, if your anxiety is kicked in, if you're overworked from your full-time job, if you've got kids, there are so many situations that can make it seem like you can't do this, but I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can. I was feeling pretty overwhelmed yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty off day for me. And I came to the realization that I was just thinking about everything. I'm thinking about what I need to do to get the store ready for open in April, what I need to do to increase my eBay sales or get listings done, what projects I need to be working on outdoors, what I need to be doing inside. Do I need to clean this? Do I need to be doing meal prep? It's a lot. What I've realized is if I can spend 5, 10, 15 minutes a day in each of these areas and get just a little bit accomplished, it goes a long way. So this morning, I already tackled my indoor chores. I made my way down to the store and I made some progress in the store and on eBay. It's raining outside today, so I don't know if I'll be able to get any work done outside, but that leads into my next point that, it's not necessary, unless you're on a strict, tight schedule already, it's not necessary to say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to spend X amount of time doing this, X amount of time doing that. Because, once you start getting into projects, you might realize that my focus needs to be more on this, less on this, but I still want to get some of this done. So you might take 5 minutes for this project and then spend 2 hours on this project or whatever, change numbers however you want. And I've found already, just in the one day that I've been doing this, y'all, the weight on my shoulders has lifted so much, because I'm the type of person, I need to see progress. If I see just a little bit of progress, it goes a long way. And I know a lot of y'all out there are just like that. So I'm just here to tell y'all, yes, homesteading is overwhelming, especially if you've got jobs and kids and other commitments, as most people do. Most people aren't able to spend, all their time on their homestead. I'm very fortunate that all the work that I do with my businesses is here here on the property. So I have the time to stay with the animals and tend to what needs to be tended. But even still, sometimes, y'all, it gets to the point where there's so much I need to do that I just don't do anything. And it's a struggle. But just like the homesteading process, everything is a work in progress. So as I continue to improve upon, you know, my mental, I don't know if you want to call it health, whatnot, stability, to put the overthinker behind me, it really helps with the feeling of being overwhelmed. And I just really wanted to talk to y'all about that today. And I know that that could be what keeps somebody from starting their homestead. And a lot of people don't know where to start either. Say, do you love tomatoes? Lack of space? Get you a big bucket. Plant you a couple tomatoes. There, you've started your homestead. And how fast you grow it is completely up to you. Take it at your own speed and do what's right for you, y'all. Everybody's different. You know, there's some people out there that could decide to start a homestead and have it completely up and running, everything built within a year or two. We're not like that. It's taken us a lot longer. But, you know, the important part is just to enjoy the process along the way and find what you need to do in your daily life on your homestead to clear your mind, because the thing is, it's supposed to be fun. There's always going to be challenges, but it's a fun process, especially if you're dealing with animals and, like I said, watching things grow. So the whole point of this is just don't give up and don't be afraid to start, because starting is the hardest part, just like us with this YouTube channel. We procrastinated 5, 6, 7 months before we ever tried to upload our first intro video. And you know what? It's gotten a lot easier. So we are always here. If anyone needs support, resources, you know, just an ear, reach out to us. We want to help everyone in every way that we can. So thanks for coming, listening to some real talk with Mama Bear. And, you know, y'all have a great day and keep on keeping on, friends.